Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today is the day we find out can you beat Fallout 4's Napoleon Bonaparte. Now, for this challenge, I'm only allowed to use a laser musket and weapons that Napoleon used with his army. Fun fact, he did use older versions of grenades, so I will allow it. And I'm only allowed to wear the vault suit and later on the general uniform. Also, every time I die, I will tell you a fact about Napoleon. So, with all that being out of the way, let's get this challenge started. Before we start though, I'll put a disclaimer. I did not show every death I had, otherwise this video will be 3 hours long, just every death that happened that's on screen. Alright, now let's really get started. Napoleon was white, had dark hair, and blue eyes, so that's what I did, and the rest, I don't think it really matters. I could try to go in depth and stuff, but it is what it is. It's just a challenge run. Besides, I'm in first person most of the time anyway, so it won't matter too much. As then I go out and choose my special stats. As I go for a charisma focused build, because for once, since Napoleon led an army, I allowed myself to have a companion. As then, I took care of my son who was crying. My son's always black, even when me and my wife are white. I do not know why. Ever since I got Fallout 4, he's been black. If you guys know why, let me know in the comments below. My wife might be cheating. Anyway, eventually we hear sirens go off, and it turns out the end of the world is starting. As nukes start to fly away, I try to get into the vault, which I have clearance to since I was a veteran in the army. As me and my wife quickly run to the vault, we then watch the end of the world happen, as a nuke goes off in front of us. As I watch the nukes launch and blow everything to Kingdom Come, I then go and get frozen. I'm lied to saying it's a preservation chamber, when in actuality I am frozen because it's an experiment. I am woken up hundreds of years later to only see my wife die in front of me and my baby get kidnapped. As I yell for help, they leave, and years later, I am unfrozen. Now I try to lock rad roaches in with a door because I don't have a laser musket yet, therefore I cannot fight them. I then start to drink water. I could have probably used my fist since Napoleon got into a fist fight once or twice probably, but I decided not to. Oh, I'm dead. Napoleon fact. Napoleon Bonaparte won over 80% of his battles. With a broken arm and a set of dreams, I was able to capture more rad roaches, as I almost died a second time. It's kind of embarrassing I died to them before, since I should be a pro at trapping them indoors by now. But eventually I'm able to trap them all, and wait enough time so I can use the Pip-Boy. And if you don't know about the Pip-Boy, they're basically Fallout's version of the phone because the microchip was never invented, so they use Pip-Boys instead, which are things you put on your arm. As then I place a bed down, get some food down, get some water down, and basically turn Sanctuary into my little base because I'm in survival, so I need to eat, drink, and sleep to survive. As then I find I'm special book and use it to put into charisma. After that I spam shelves, which is an exploit that gives me XP. Yes, I know I use exploits, but it's survival, so get off my back, you're not my mom. As then I look at my special books and put some points into sneak and rifleman. As then I go onwards and find a laser musket near Preston in his museum. Preston is a Minuteman who's surrounded by raiders. We'll go and help him later, but for now, I need way more ammo, so I have a plan. As before I do that though, I try to use charisma to try to stop these gang members from taking down an innocent shop, but they don't like how I talk to them and they shoot me down. Tried and failed twice. Here's 2 Napoleon facts. He became a general at 26 and originally was part of Italy, but France bought it right before he was born, the land that he was born in. Eventually though, I am able to talk my way through and he convinced him not to attack the place. So then I go in and get better prices and more importantly some XP as I complete the quests open up. As then I go to help Paladin Dance. Paladin Dance is this Brotherhood member who's attacked by feral ghouls. And he needs help to survive. Well, he really doesn't because he's kind of unkillable. So what I do is I hide here and take pot shots, and this weapon absolutely sucks before I upgrade it. So yeah, I need to hide. As then I talk to Paladin Dance, and he asks for help. And I use my charisma to get paid, to get that cap before I help him. And he agrees reluctantly. So then I follow him on an adventure to get some more fusion cells, because there is an exploit here to get lots of ammo. On the way, we are jumped by feral dogs, while I run back and use Paladin Dance as a human shield. Paladin Dance is kind of like a brick wall, and easily takes care of anything here. So all I have to do is hide back and take pot shots. Be honest, I probably don't even need to take pot shots, but yeah. I do kind of get careless though, and I am killed. Here's another Napoleon fact. Napoleon was scared of cats. Good thing I had a sleeping bag in the Brotherhood's base. By the way, you have to sleep to save in survival. I won't show every time I sleep because then the video will be too long, but just know dying in this game mode is a pain. And when the game crashes, it's basically saying F you. As here's the exploit. You reach with Paladin Dan to try to get the technology that the Institute has, only to let the Institute come at Paladin Dan's wave after wave after wave, as he wants you to send some heat their way. So, instead of doing that immediately, you just wait, because the Synths, they all have fusion cells, which is the ammo I need for the laser muskets. So I wait for them all to come down, and I blow them up to get them ammo. I then let Paladin Dance do all the work for me. As eventually we get the technology he wanted, and he gave me a weapon I can't use, but at least I can sell it, so that's good. And he offered me to join the Brotherhood, which I said yes, as then I upgraded my Vault suit. I'm on survival, so it's not much, but it's better than nothing. Now instead of taking one hit and dying, I can take one hit and a half and die. As then I upgrade my musket to make it better, so I can use more cranks on it. So now I'm finally ready. With some more fusion cells and some more firepower, I then go to clear out the raiders at the Museum of Freedom. The raiders themselves weren't too difficult. These guys are meant for very early level, so they don't do a lot of damage to me, luckily. But I do get careless, and the melee guys do get pretty close. By the way, I almost shit my pants on that. I was pretty sure I was going to die right there. But I was able to continue pushing forwards, killing them off one by one by one, because these raiders are very, very dumb. But my luck wasn't going to continue on forever, as then I went to talk to Preston as he needed help. As then stole a bobblehead to give me some better perception, which is very nice. After that, it was time for me to fight the deathclaw, because when we were surrounded by raiders, suddenly a deathclaw showed up. So I hid in a building and shot him with some laser rounds, while he just kind of looked at me. I was hoping that the raiders would be distracted with the deathclaw, but one managed to sneak in and try to kill me. By the way, I use VATS a lot here because I suck at aiming and I do what I want. It's my video. As I continued to shoot at the deathclaw and let the raiders do most of the work until his health was mostly gone, and eventually I hit it with a crit and a sneak attack, and I just keep on shooting until the deathclaw dies. Very nice. Some fried lizard tonight. Also is limping. I didn't know you could cripple a deathclaw. The more you know, I guess. As then I talk with Preston, and he's impressed with what happened, so he has more to say to me. As I follow him back to Sanctuary, he gives me an offer, saying I should help some settlements and join the Minutemen. I agree, and then I upgrade my musket even more, because this musket is a piece of crap, but the more you upgrade it, the better it is, to the point where it's overpowered. As I increase the accuracy and the long distance of my musket, I then go over and help some farmers who are being harassed by raiders. These raiders are living in the sewers, even though they weren't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so my task was to go out and kill them. As I go down and clear them out pretty easily, until I reach the boss. The boss, Walter, yes, the raider name is Walter, and there's a drug lab next to him, I think they did that on purpose, kills me. So here's a fact about Napoleon. Napoleon actually wrote a romantic novel. I wonder how that goes. I then use hit and run tactics to kill this Walter White ripoff. It's pretty hard, because if he turns around and shoots me, it's kind of over. Like that. Here's another fact about Napoleon. Napoleon brought back a mummy during his campaign in Egypt, and I was able to kill Walter White and get the hell out of there. After running my ass away, I then go back to the farmers to tell them I took care of Walter White, and they said good job and decided to help the Minuteman. After that, I go back to Preston, and Preston tells me good job and makes me the leader of the Minutemen and offers to follow me. And I say yes for once, because he is a musket wielder, and that's really the only reason. Napoleon needs an army, and if I can't have an army, I'll have one guy with a musket. Good enough for me. As then I decide to make my weapon do more damage and give up the accuracy, which is a terrible decision. I go back on that later. I then build some things for Sanctuary, which Sanctuary is our home right now. Napoleon sees the Commonwealth as his empire, so he needs to better the empire and better the people by helping them out and clearing out some dirty, dirty raiders. So that's exactly what I do. And I get killed doing it. Napoleon actually wasn't short. He was average height for the time. That fact is becoming more and more known, but I still found it, so I decided to say it. As I sneak around and kill the raiders one by one, until I make my way inside, destroying them and leveling up in the process. Very, very nice. As you can see, my beam splitter does a lot of damage, but when it doesn't hit, I'm screwed, so I change it later. And I'm dead, you know what that means. Napoleon was accounted for building many orphanages and schools, which helped his country greatly. Good for him. Long live Napoleon! As now, I level up. Very nice. And me and Preston are able to kill the raider boss. As then I go off and manage to find a nice bed to save. Very nice. As then I go over and talk to the leader of the settlers, and she says she'll join the Minutemen. After that, I then go off to kill some ghouls so I can make a town. You see, there's these quests where if you kill some ghouls or bugs or whatever is in the settlement, you can then clear it out and place a beacon for new settlers to come up, and it counts as a new settlement. And we need more settlements to make the Minutemen stronger. After achieving this, as he tells me that I need to take out a raider boss who has a locket of his dead daughter. So that's what I do, as I kill raiders along the way. If you don't see Preston, that's because in survival, if they die, they just go back to their home if you don't heal them. And I don't waste stim packs on Preston sometimes, so yeah. As then I go forward to fight some raiders along the way, as I use VATS to kill them because I suck at aiming, like I said, and this weapon's already hard enough. Cut me some slack. I try to run away, but they end up spawning behind me and killing me. Napoleon was actually a bad loser and cheated at cards. By the way, I got all these facts from Google. I just read the first ones I found, so take all these with a grain of salt. I am then able to kill the leader of the raiders and get back the locket, as I managed to use a critical hit to destroy her, which is pretty nice. After using my critical and getting the locket back, I was then able to go back to the settlers and give him some closure, and in exchange, he decided to join the Minutemen. Heck yeah. As then Preston liked me more, and I like Preston more too. He was a good soldier. As then we went forward, I then talked to another settler, and well, you know how this is. Another raider mission, but this one was to the quarry. I was stuck in here for a day, dying over and over. No, I'm not going to show all that. But yeah, I snuck in there and tried to take out their boss and the people around there one by one. And my splitter sucked because it made it so my accuracy was, well, not that good. Yeah, choosing damage over accuracy on a musket is a terrible idea. Now here's another fact for you. The Napoleonic Code was a system of laws that his country followed, and fun fact, some countries still use it today. As I tried to use hit and run tactics to kill the raider boss, but it didn't work out too well. He was religiously tolerant and granted citizenships to many Jews. As I just kept trying, but I couldn't wipe out the raider boss. I was ready to reload, but then I had an idea. There was actually some feral ghouls down here, so after failing again and again and again, never being able to kill her, eventually I was able to sneak down and get some feral ghouls, as the feral ghouls from the quarry would then go and attack the raider boss and kill her for me. It was genius. NPCs versus NPCs. Napoleon had a plan, and it worked, just as he fooled the idiot monarchs of Europe. A long time ago, he fooled the raiders and ghouls to fight for him, and he could finally go back to the settlers and achieve his mission. After that, he went to Diamond City to get some more ammo, as I was stuck listening to Piper. Piper was a reporter who was kicked out for writing a bad newspaper, but we tricked them to thinking I'm a traitor so I can get in, as then I see some guy holding up another guy hostage because he thinks he's a synth, which is a robot. So I save him by killing him down in the streets, because Napoleon ain't scared to get down and dirty. After that, I buy some fusion cells, which should help me out. I've been collecting lots of ammo from like any weapon I can find to trade for fusion cells, so it should be good. As then, it's time to take the castle so I can finally get the general's outfit. Now, a couple hits and I'm dead, so I'm kind of screwed here. I kind of have to rely on the others. The Minutemen here are kind of, well, essential, which means they can't really die, so I let them do most of the work and just take pot shots whenever I can, which is pretty much my strategy for this whole game because I have a freaking musket and it's the future. And also, my armor sucks, so yeah, I kind of have to. As then I'm tasked with destroying the eggs after killing some of the Mirelurks. as a Mirelurk gets up and nearly takes my booty. As then, the Mirelurk Queen comes out. She is gigantic and gives birth to Mirelurks all the time. So yeah, this is not going to be a fun fight. And she kills me with acid. Napoleon actually passed education reforms which greatly improved his country and learning. As then, it was time for me to fight the Mirelurk Queen. I chucked tons of grenades down there and died again. Napoleon fought roughly 60 battles throughout his campaign. As me running around like an idiot, shooting, throwing grenades, and doing anything that works, eventually I am able to kill the Queen of Mirelurks. After the Queen is dead, I then get another level up, very nice, and then I talk to Preston. As after we took the castle, we're then able to move forward, and soon enough, I'll be able to get my Minuteman outfit. Also, there was a hostage just running around, and I was able to free her. I've never had that happen before. So then I meet with Ronnie Shaw, who wants to get into the armory and set up some artillery. So now I can finally get the general's outfit, and I'll actually have some armor, which is actually pretty good for decent to late game, but terrible for what I have in store after the end of the game. But you have to keep watching to find that out. As I use hit and run tactics, just trying to get some crits off and throw some grenades in. As eventually I wait and let Ronnie Shaw do all the work and blow up the robot for me. After the robot is destroyed, which turned on to attack the intruders, not knowing that I am a Minuteman, I was able to find the general's uniform. Finally, I have better armor than this crappy ass Volt suit. Oh my god, I am pimped out. Now that's Napoleon. Time to become Emperor of the Commonwealth. As then, we were able to use the artillery, and that is definitely allowed because, well, Napoleon definitely had artillery in his arsenal. And I think cannons count, but, you know, it is what it is. As then, I'm able to upgrade my barrel, and as after that, I then go over to talk to the detective agency about finding my son, which got kidnapped at the beginning of the game. But it turns out, Nick Valentine, the detective, has been kidnapped himself by a bunch of gangsters. So, it is up to me and Preston to go down and kill the gangsters. As I go down and use VATS to tear them apart one by one, using sneak attacks to light them up. They do a lot of damage because of their guns, but luckily, they're wearing nothing for armor, so I do a lot of damage too. So as long as I'm patient and have the upper hand and use the high ground like this, I should be good. As a bunch of them start coming up the stairs one by one, and I'm able to kill them one by one by one. I have the high ground, gunners. I have the high ground. I try to kill both of these guys at once, but it doesn't really work out for me. Luckily for me, though, I am actually starting to get better at aiming, and I take them out. After that, I'm able to finally find Nick Valentine, and he agrees to help me out to save my son. As then we push forward, killing some more Triggermen. As we push forward, killing more and more Triggermen, I start to actually enjoy myself. Now that I have this outfit, not that crappy ass Volt suit, this challenge is actually starting to get fun. Because as I'm able to push onwards. And since I had high charisma, I was able to do this. Darla was a woman Nick thought was kidnapped, but actually was Skinny's girlfriend. But I convinced her to leave Skinny, and the Triggerman left us alone, as in Preston liked me more. And I liked Preston too. He was a good soldier and a good man. As then I talked to Nick Valentine. As Nick Valentine was going back to Diamond City, he told me to meet him there. So that's what I did. I went back and met him there, and we discussed everything I saw when my kid was kidnapped. And I told him about Kellogg, and then this guy blocked me from running out. Like, what the hell is this? Move! Move! God, I wish I could kill him, but then everyone would attack me. As then, I tried lockpicking Kellogg's house, but I had nothing in lockpick, so that didn't work. As then I went up to talk to the mayor, I used my charisma to let me into the house, as he gave me the keys. As then, I showed Dogmeat a new smell, and we went off to find Fort Hagen. As I did the quest, I tried just going there without doing Dogmeat's thing, which you can do to skip it, but I literally couldn't find it. So I had to do Dogmeat's little quests where I find objects. It wasn't too hard though, as then I went onwards to fight Kellogg, who had an army of robots who viciously attacked me. Luckily, the robots used fusion cells for their energy weapons, which was the exact ammo I needed for my laser musket, so it worked out quite well. Every time I killed one, I got more ammo from it. And yeah, I tried to go out and sleep, but they followed me and killed me, so you know what that means. Napoleon would often disguise himself as a normal citizen to walk among the streets to see how they lived. Very interesting. As then, I pushed forward and used my sniper scope. I know the Skyper musket is kind of weird, but hey, it works well for me. As then, I hide and use a crit and headshot Kellogg with a sneak attack and kill him instantly. I was laughing my butt off when that happened. I was so happy. As then, I let the sense come to me, and me and Preston just laser them up. That's right, another win for the Minutemen and the French army. As then, I see the Brotherhood come rolling in. And I get scared because I want to rule the Commonwealth myself. And a giant airship with a bunch of helicopters with another army, that worries me a lot. But we'll get to that later. As then I talk to Nick Valentine, and I go and talk with Preston, as Preston likes me even more now. And I decided to do something controversial. I flirt with Preston. Napoleon did say if Alexander the Great was a woman, he would make him his mistress. I know Napoleon was never confirmed to be gay or anything, but that was looked down upon. So, it's a virtual video game. It's not real. Napoleon can be gay for once. Don't freak out, guys. As then, I go inside of Kellogg's brain. We stole Kellogg's brain to watch his memories because we didn't know where the Institute is. And we learned that the Institute has a scientist who's hiding out in the glowing sea. As then I go to upgrade my weapon again. As now, the glowing sea is going to kill me with tons of radiation. So I decide, if Napoleon was alive during Fallout times, he would want to live forever. So, since I have the Curation Club item to become a ghoul, I decide to become a ghoul. As what you have to do is read this note about ghoul testing, and go to this lab and kill these crazy ghouls, and get a serum to become a ghoul. I then headshot this ghoul and kill him the first time, but he mutates, because he's legendary. Isn't that stupid? And then I die in one hit, because of course I do. Napoleon often had poison around his neck in case he was captured, but the one time he tried to drink it, it was expired, and he was captured anyway. Anyway, I use a crit to damage its legs and kill the radioactive ghoul. As then I get the serum and begin to take it. Also, there's this weird glitch where your AP is down, even though you're not hungry or thirsty as a ghoul. I talked to the creator, and he said, he'll fix it later. But anyway, I was able to become a ghoul, and after becoming ghoulified, I then walked into the glowing sea. As after walking into the glowing sea, I meet with Virgil, and he agrees to help me build the teleporter. As I have to build a teleporter to get into the Institute, but to do that, I need a chip from a Courser. And a Courser are the baddest of the baddest, the strong of the strong. They hunt runaway synths, which are basically runaway robots who want free will. As to get to the Courser, I have to fight a bunch of gunners, which are high-ranked military officers fighting the Courser. So, I go to gunner one by one and begin to kill them, using VATS and headshots and anything I can do. Also, since I'm a ghoul, radiation heals me, so I might become a ghoul in every playthrough, because this is awesome. Is it worth the money? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide that. I can already tell there's going to be some angry comments about me buying some of the Curation Club. But I don't care, this is fun, and I enjoy it. I also get jump scared, but I'm able to quick scope that guy, which is very nice. As me running out into the water to heal, and then me going forward, I'm eventually making to the top of Green Tech Genetics. After making it to the top, I then fight the Courser. As I assume using a crit and a headshot would be good enough, it wasn't, and I am shot down, completely dead, and beaten up. So, yeah, at least I put up a good fight. Anyway, Napoleon's last words were, "France, my son, the army." Which may not make too much sense, because his last words, he was not all there. Anyway, I was able to destroy the Courser with using stealth and a crit. Very nice. And when I went to the abandoned church, which is where the railroads stay, which help a runaway synths, aka robots, who gain free will, the ghouls didn't attack me because I was a fellow ghoul. As then I get the chip decoded, and I go meet with the super mutant, Virgil, who ran away from the Institute, and he gives me the plans for the teleporter. As then I talk to Preston, And the Minutemen, aka Napoleon's army, decide to build the teleporter to get into the Institute. As I build the teleporter, it starts to fall apart because our engineer is not that best, apparently. As then, I meet with my son and decide just to kill him because he's heir to the throne, and if he kills me, he takes it over. And since I'm a ghoul, I don't really need any heirs, so killing him is probably the best look. Also, the Sentinel attacked me while I'm escaping for some reason. I'm pretty sure that's a bug. Anyway, after teleporting back, I talk to Sturgis after giving him the plans to the Institute, and he tells me he has a plan to attack. But before I can do anything, I need to get more settlements. I thought as soon as I got the castle, I was good, but apparently I don't have enough settlements. So now I have to go and help people and build up our forces and build up the army of Napoleon's ranks before I can fight the Institute once and for all, which is fine by me because, well, leveling up a little bit first couldn't hurt. As I clear out some naked mole rats so I can bring some settlers to the area, then I clear out some ghouls so I can bring more settlers to an area and protect the settlement. It's a win-win. As then I have enough people to defend the castle. As the Institute sends waves and waves of robots to attack us, we stay strong as Napoleon leads the battle. Napoleon is filled with pride, joy, and many other emotions, remembering back in the day when he led the French army into victory. However, this time there will be no Russian offensive, and there will be no defeat. Napoleon is the Empire. Napoleon is the Commonwealth. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. I simply stay and just shoot them off one by one, while my companions do most of the work. As these shots are pretty damn majestic, at least if you ask me. As I am able to defend the castle pretty well. Not too shabby at all. As then, the Institute are sent packing. I was also able to swim the water nearby to heal. As then I go and talk to Sturgis, as he tells me about the plans to the Institute. Apparently, there's a water pipe leading into them where they get their oxygen from, and it comes straight from the sewer tunnels. So I go into the sewer tunnels and begin to wipe out the turrets there, as the Institute has brought up some defenses to stop anyone from just rushing down on in there. But I am Napoleon Bonaparte. I don't care about no defenses. I'm able to simply hide and pick them off one by one as I get closer and closer to the Institute, trying my best to make it in. These tunnels are kind of annoying, honestly, but they're not too bad, as I'm able to make it inside and teleport in my army. So now we can lead a full-on frontal assault. A bunch of people with laser muskets fighting the Institute. Now this is Napoleon. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know why I said it. But anyway, me and the Minutemen continue to push forward as I stay back and use crits and snipe them off. I am a musket sniper dressed as Napoleon. Do with that as you will. Do with that as you will. As I use a crit to destroy a synth, and I make it to the end. And since the Minutemen, if they die, they just spawn in, I hide and try to let them do all the work, because I am low on health, and if I die here, I have to go to bed, and yeah, it's just a lot. So I am trying my best not to die. If I have to be cheesy, I will be cheesy. I do not care one bit in the slightest whatsoever, as I am able to snipe them from afar and hide from the back of the Institute. Eventually, a bunch of them die. I'm able to get a lot of ammo back. And just look at the carnage. There is a lot of dead men there. Anyway, I'm able to send out a warning for the people to leave because I'm not heartless. Come on now. After sending out the warning and the attacks kept on going, it's time that I place a nuclear bomb in the reactor core to blow up the Institute once and for all. The Battle of Austerlitz was Napoleon's greatest achievement, defeating an army of 90,000 men with only having 68,000 men. As then, we're able to place bombs on the nuclear reactor, and I bring my robot son along with me because, well, I kind of feel bad for killing my original son. As then I hit the button, activating the explosion, blowing up the Institute, proving yes, you can beat Fallout 4 as Napoleon Bonaparte. But we're not done yet. There's some threats to my rule. And I get this automatic laser musket, which I guess maybe I shouldn't use because I feel like they didn't have automatic weapons back then, but it's still a musket and I want to use it. So I decided to declare war on the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood have power armor, helicopters, and many things that could easily defeat my rule. So, to make sure that doesn't happen, I must wipe them out first. As I kill one of their members to make them aggro against me, I then get this quest to take down the Brotherhood. How it works is I set up a bunch of artillery, and then we blow up the airship, and then they'll come and attack us with what forces they have left, and we defend, and we win. As then I go to settlement, as I need to set up 5 artillery pieces to blow up their giant airship. As then I set them all up, and watch the airship go kaboom! That's what happens when you threaten Napoleon's rule. I am the only emperor of the Commonwealth. I've gone to pretty good to pretty tyrannical. Pretty fast, if you ask me at least. As then, the Brotherhood come pouring in. And since the Minutemen here are essential, all I have to do is kind of hide. You know, take pot shots here and hide. Because I don't have any in the Commando perk, which is the automatic perk. Because I forgot the last weapon you get is an automatic. So, I don't do a lot of damage yet. But I will later. As I do what I can using VATS and my automatic laser musket, but I do end up dying a few times. Napoleon's greatest failure was the invasion of Russia, which got most of his army killed, which is an army of 600,000, which was a lot for back then. So yeah, don't invade Russia. I wish Mustache Man would have learned. Actually, I don't, because I hate him, and I'm glad he failed. As then, I end up waiting in the castle because I'm tired of dying 1,000 times because I don't have any commando perks, which is the perk that makes it so automatic weapons do better. I then end up shooting some people with vertibirds and using my sneak attack to bring down some Brotherhood agents. But mostly, my soldiers do all the work for me, which is kind of bad, but, you know, when your soldiers are unkillable, you win. If only the soldiers in Russia were unkillable, I would have conquered it. Oh well. I then end up killing a pilot to a vertibird and blowing it up, but then that kills me, because of course it does. Napoleon's first wife, Josephine, barely escaped execution during the French Revolution. Very interesting. As then, I decided to do the DLCs, so I go into Far Harbor, as this guy's daughter went missing, because she thinks she's a robot, a synth, so she went to this place called Arcadia. So, we're going to have to go investigate and try to bring her back for some money. As I take a boat to an island off the coast of the Commonwealth. As then I go and talk, and it turns out this thing called the fog brings a bunch of radioactive monsters. And it's been corrupted in the town of Far Harbor. I'm able to hide and basically just shoot. The only reason I jumped down is because Preston jumped down and I wanted to save him. So yeah, don't have a lot of commando yet, so don't do a lot of damage, because I forgot that commando upgrades your weapon. By the time I do the other DLC, though, I do have a lot of commando, so that's good. As then we go in and talk to the Children of Adam, which are these cultists. And I thought they would like me because I'm a ghoul. Because if you worship radiation, you see a ghoul, a result of radiation, you think they would like that. But nope, they said I was unworthy for Adam's love. And Napoleon, well, he don't take shit for no one. So he would remember that later. But for now, I have to do this test and bring back an artifact to prove I'm worthy of the Children of Adam. I go in, do the test, bring back the artifact, and they let me in. Only for me to start murdering them. And I didn't know this, but the gamma guns shoot radiation, and radiation heals you as a ghoul. So, they were healing me as I was fighting them. So, it was kind of a piece of cake. All I did was come in there and just murder them as they shot me with gamma rays and healed me. So they would heal me, and I would shoot them with lasers that melted their insides. Very nice. Then I talk with Dima, the leader of Arcadia, and I ask where their daughter is. As I find their daughter, the person I was supposed to find, she tells me that she doesn't trust Dima, and that I should snoop around. I ask Dima what's going on. He says, well, he has some memories stored away with the Children of Adam. So I go back to the Children of Adam, I hoping that me wiping a bunch of them out would trigger special dialogue. Sadly, it didn't. As I go and wipe out Mr. Gutsy and wipe out other stuff, by this time I had some perks in commando, so my assault rifle laser musket actually does damage. As then I do this shitty ass puzzle. And now I hate this puzzle, so I decide I do not want to do it. So what I do is, basically I decide to destroy the Children of Adam. To do that, I have to go through this stupid super mutant thing. So yeah, I sneak around, get it, and then I go in and get the launch codes, go to the submarine, and set it to blow up and destroy everything. For some reason, I didn't record deaths here. Maybe I was tired of looking up Napoleon facts, but yeah, I did die in Far Harbor, but I didn't record a single death. I have no idea why. I was probably out of facts. I was just like, screw it. But yeah. But then we discover something shocking. It turns out Dima killed the leader of Far Harbor and replaced him with a synth. So, we have a choice. Tell Dima or tell Far Harbor and have them assault. I then try to tell Kasumi and try to get her out of there, but she refuses. So then I go to Far Harbor and tell the worst person there possible. Because I've never done like a pure human ending where the robots are wiped out and the children of Adam are wiped out. It's like a true Far Harbor rules everything. I mean, the DLC is called Far Harbor, so I might as well help Far Harbor out, if you know what I mean. He then murders the mayor, who was a synth, and murders anyone who supported her. And then we go up and meet, and he tells me, good job, sorry for doubting you. You might be an outsider, but you're one of us. And I feel happy, as then I lead the assault to wipe out robots. After all, they're just stupid machines. They're not cool like humans, or even cooler like ghouls, the superior people. We all know that. As Kasumi dies, sad, I tried to warn her and get her out of here, but she didn't like me killing everyone, so I had to kill her. I then complete the quest. You get special perks if you wipe people out, so wiping out as many factions as possible on Far Harbor is probably the best if you just want the perks and not a good ending. As then I go to Nuka World, which was a mistake. There's a reason I didn't do every DLC like I planned to, and that's because Nuka World kicked my ass, but you'll see that. I didn't even get there and I already got my ass kicked. Napoleon, when he was crowned emperor by the Pope, took the crown out of his hands and put it right on his head to show that he wasn't being submissive to him. Kind of badass, not gonna lie. As then I killed Harvey because I knew he was setting me up for a trap. As you see, these slavers have taken over Nuka World. My plan was to go in and kill all of them. I have a laser musket you can only get by beating the game with the Minutemen, so I assumed it was going to be pretty easy. Boy, was I naive. I tried to do the door glitch, but it didn't work, so I had to do the gauntlet, but it is what it is. As then I was able to use my sneak to sneak past a bunch of turrets, which is pretty nice. The gauntlet is basically just a bunch of traps and enemies that you have to get through as the raiders are watching with entertainment, hoping that you die. I then kill a rad roach and watch the fire destroy him. I don't know why the fire didn't kill me, because I'm a ghoul. I have no idea. As then I make it to the end and I'm supposed to fight the raider boss, Colt. But they hate Colt, so they gave me a water gun. I decided to let me use it. It doesn't do any damage, it just lets me hurt him with a laser musket. First time I get a bit careless and end up dying. Napoleon was exiled twice throughout his life and was exiled to 2 different islands. As then I was able to destroy Colt using my laser musket and hiding far away instead of actually getting close up. As then I talk to this girl and I get the open season quest as a slave asked me to free her by murdering all the slavers. Since the slaves act like a threat, I feel like it would be best for me to get rid of them. However, that wouldn't be super easy because all these guys have super advanced guns and all the slavers are enclosed in areas with a bunch of their teammates. Napoleon always had a locket on him with a picture of his wife, which is very romantic. As then, my plan is to try to, kill these guys secretly one by one so they can't join in and jump me, which I'm able to do. Because if you're hidden and they just melt, they don't care, apparently. But then they do care. I don't know. Eventually, I am able to kill the boss, though. That pissed me off so much. I hate Nuka World now. I used to love it, but now it's my least favorite DLC of all time. Napoleon once said, let China sleep, for when they wake up, they will rule the world. Which is very fitting based on what's going on right now. As I just get completely slaughtered. So much fun. As then I decide to get some backup as I leave and get Preston, as my plan is to hide. Since I have stealth high, I can simply shoot them far away. The one good thing I'll say about this mission is that the enemies never respawn once you kill them, so clearing out the park if you really know what you're doing, isn't that bad. But they have all these boss fights and all these closed-ass locations where you're surrounded. Napoleon sold us Louisiana for money for his European conquest. As luckily there was a bed here so I could sleep and get ready. As I decide to actually aim for the head, I actually start to do a lot better. As I'm about to kill one of the bosses, but then he uses a stim pack. Because of course they can use stim packs. Why wouldn't they be able to? How are people not complaining about this? Napoleon had 6 sisters. Wow, imagine living at home with 6 siblings. That would be crazy for nowadays. Can you imagine that? Napoleon had 2 illegitimate sons. I get really lucky with the last one. The last one is surrounded by ghouls and getting just torn apart. So I'm able to take shots here and there and kill her. And finally do it. And I decided not to do the other DLCs. I want to do the Automatron one, the other ones, but after this, I was over. So yeah, this is my video about Napoleon beating Fallout 4 and some of the DLCs. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what historical figures you want me to do next. Love you all. And just let me know how your days are going, comments below. And bring me some ideas. And should I do other Fallout games with Napoleon? Let me know.